Hi, welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I am so glad you're here. Today's date is Saturday, January 20th, 2024. Yesterday, our 45th president, Mr. T, was conducting a rally in Concord, New Hampshire. During the course of that rally, there were several interesting things, but I wanted to focus on one in particular. And that's the fact that he used the word timber more than once, twice exactly. And there was a speculation in the anon community that the use of that word might have been deliberate and it might have been some kind of a communication. That's exactly the kind of thing that's beautiful to ask the tarot cards about. I'm going to take you to a compilation I've got so you can see how I kind of got curious about the topic and how it kind of guided this video and the tarot question. And if you'd like to go to that compilation, just follow the Facebook link that'll be in the video description box in the bottom of the video. Okay, let's go to my share screen and we'll see what I was looking at. So first of all, 0420 has this to say, that Trump says timber twice when talking about a VP pick. You understand. And then he remembered that back in the COVID days, the Kennedy grandkids all made a video that was about timber. Okay, so you can go to that if you'd like to. Now, timber has been used with political connotations for over 400 years. Okay, and it's even been used in relation to talking about presidential candidates and what have you. So it talks about the personal quality or character of the person, the timber of them. So the use of the word wasn't inappropriate. It was just a little surprising, and anons were wondering if there was something to the use of that word. Okay, so if you'd like to go directly to that Twitter post that I just have, here it is. Right underneath it, his next post is this one, but if you want to see them separately, I included the link. If you would like to see some of the history of the use of the word timber with political connotations, you have there. And one of the things that they were wondering in the anon community was, since the Kennedy grandkids have made this very widely shared and well-known video about timber, if there's a possibility that Mr. T was hinting at his VP candidate may be JFK Jr., who many believe is still alive. Or is he just wanting the deep state to worry about that? Now, there's some in the alt media community that say that JFK Jr. has been our vice president during the first term of office when certain shenanigans were came to light and were dealt with. I'm not going to go that deep. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying I'm not going that deep. I go deep enough as far as exploring topics and possibilities and what have you. But let's just ask about that, irregardless of whether indeed JFK Jr. has quietly and in the background been a VP because he's in protected status and has been ever since his supposed demise back in, I think it was 2009, no, or 1999. I can't remember. Anyway, let's just ask the cards. What was Mr. T? Was there a communication involved with his use more than once? Because repeated utterances matter. Misspellings matter when you're looking at communications. Mispronunciations matter, and pronunciations can also matter. But he used the word twice in that speech within about 30 seconds of the first utterance of it, talking about a VP candidate and that she didn't have the timber. Well, who does have the timber? Kennedy grandkids. Okay. So let's see, was there communication involved with the use of the word timber in his Concord, New Hampshire rally? And are there other insights and information the universe wants us to know about his possible VP pick? Let's see what the universe wants us to know. I'm going to switch the camera. You can watch me work with the cards and we'll find out together. Concord, New Hampshire, January 19th, 2024. Mr. T uses the word timber more than once. Was this a form of coded communication and insights and information that the universe deems pertinent to our question in this topic? Okay, we have the Ten of Cups. We have the Wheel of Fortune, the Sun, the Seven of Cups, the Hermit. Wow, look at these major arcana showing up. We have the Two of Wands, and we have the Four of Swords. Okay, I'm going to tell you the insights the cards are giving me, and then we'll look at elements of the cards that kind of support what I say. Okay, well, Mr. T is still acting as if there are many candidates that are possible for his VP pick. He's really, in his heart, he knows who he wants. And so that's what I'm getting from this. It's interesting, too, that out of 7 cards, we have 3 that are major arcanas. 1 for the recent past with the Sun, 1 for the clarifier with the Wheel of Fortune, and the Hermit in the near future line. Now let's talk about how those can kind of work together, and let us explore that topic a little bit about JFK Jr. as a possible person to be named in that position. First of all, cards are telling me that yes, JFK Jr. has survived. He's alive and well. Okay, absolutely. The 10 here for the situation card, 10 of Cups, is telling us this is a card of multi-generational happiness, joy, just good things. Okay, and political reads too, clarifying with the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is a great card to show up in political reads because our world is going from dark to light. It looks like, depending on how quickly that process goes, we may actually see JFK Jr. listed officially and publicly as the vice presidential choice of Mr. T. That's not firm yet because going forward, we got the Hermit showing up here. Now, this is a beautiful card that always talks about kind of wisdom and guidance. It's always good if the lantern that the Hermit is holding is pointing at another card, it's good to pay that one a little more attention than usual. And his lantern is pointing on the Two of Wands, which is a card, here's the whole world, okay? And this is about setting out in a new path. Fearless, absolutely, but knowing clearly where you're headed and why. So again, that's why I say, the public announcement is a possibility depending on how quickly the Wheel of Fortune is turning for changes in our world. But we are getting ready as a world, as a plane of existence, not just a country being the United States with the political things, but our world is getting ready to make some huge and wonderful changes. Now, the Four of Wands or Swords, when it shows up for me, this is usually a card telling me that there's more information available, that it's just not the right time to disclose it. Again, when I trust the universe to relay information that's shareable, that doesn't have to be limited by either me withholding insights or by any kind of obscuring methods or things like that. That's why I want my information to come just as clear and unfettered by human intervention as possible, because the universe will take care of it. So I like that. Yeah, it looks like definitely it was a Comm. Absolutely. Now we've got the Nine of Wands and Justice showing up, another major arcana. Okay, this is a determination card, beautiful, showing up with Justice. So as Mr. T tends to be appearing to mull over his choices, I get the feeling that he's got two in mind, one that would be public and one that would be preferred. Okay, and depending on how things roll out as far as disclosures and changes to our world are going to depend with if the private choice is the publicly announced one. That's kind of interesting to see. Now we have the 10 of Wands. We've got several 10s showing up here. Okay, got the 10 of Cups, we've got the 10 of Wands, and 10s are talking about kind of an ending and getting ready to start a new transformative, whatever it might be. And so is this 2 of Wands. So yeah, lots of changes are headed our way. Absolutely. With justice being a priority and going from dark to light. The final card here in this read, besides the 10 of Wands, which talks about it's been a really long, hard struggle, but you know, fortitude and determination, stayed with it. The Queen of Wands always indicates optimism and accomplishment. So, and she's very, 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 very blunt. And I know Mr. T can be at times too. So there we have it. Our question seems to have been answered. Yes, there was a Comm involved, and the Comm he's doing these vice presidential teasers, but he knows who he wants. Whether he can announce that preferred person and that person can go public kind of depends on the speed at which things change. So let's recap. Mr. T used the word timber twice yesterday in his Concord, New Hampshire rally. And anons were speculating that that might have actually been some kind of coded communication. Now, whether it was involving JFK Jr. or not was part of the speculation. And another element of the speculation was it simply that they were teasing the deep state about who the official candidate may be. So here's what we asked. We just said, was it a communication, and can we have insights and information about this whole topic that is deemed appropriate? The question, I think the universe was happy with the way it was phrased. We had the 10 of Cups show up with the Wheel of Fortune. Political reads, this is good because it means that the forward motion, the moving from dark to light for our world is continuing. The pace may vary and it may not be what we want, but it is happening. It is happening. We're not just holding the line anymore, guys. We're pushing it. Okay. The Sun card showed up for the recent past. Joy, happiness, life. And I think that's a nod to the fact that indeed JFK Jr. is alive and with us. Okay. Now, Mr. T is acting like he's got lots and lots of people he's considering, you know, that there's numerous names that have made the short list. My impression was that he's actually down to 2. The one he'd like to have, but things have got to change before that name can be brought forward publicly. And then the one that if the pace is slower, that's going to seem to be a more traditional type of pick. Okay. So that's what we got. Now the Hermit showed up, one of our major arcanas, wisdom, divine oversight. And so this whole process, even though as the world changes, we're going to get to a point where there's much less representation, numbers of the administration that tends to be representing people in political matters. It's going to be much smaller. Until that change happens, it's nice to know that there is some support for that change, that the Hermit's on top of it. And if you saw me pause there and look for a word, I want to explain that. Because I had someone in the comments that has asked about that. There is has been a deliberate meanings in our words and our language that have been kind of thrust upon us, that without knowing it, we've been giving some consent and permissions that we maybe didn't mean to do. For example, the classic understand. Now, if you're under arrest and you read your Miranda rights, part of that is, do you understand these rights? I've explained them to you. And what you're actually saying is you're agreeing to stand under the law that is the basis for those charges, which may not be the law of the land. So they don't ask if you comprehend, they ask if you understand. And by the same token, even though the word government comes so easily out of my mouth, that's why I tend to have to stop. What you're doing is you're giving permission to be governed, to be ruled instead of represented. And so that's why I try to be a little more conscious about my word choice and not use ones that actually ended up giving some of my autonomy away. Even though I wasn't aware of it, now that I am, I can start making those deliberate attempts to understand, to be wiser about the word choices I use. And so that's why I stopped there. The universe did indicate that there's some information about this whole topic of JFK Jr. and the VP pick that is not ready to be made public because, just for people's safety and what have you. When this card shows up, it's the universe telling me, I could tell you more and I might later, but I'm not going to do it right now. Okay? Because my curiosity is not going to ever be satisfied at the expense of someone's safety or an operation, period. So I'm good with that. I hope you are too. So that's it for this read. Yeah, as you said, those words were deliberate. Absolutely. With the word timber. And a little of it was to rattle the deep state cage a little bit, but some of it was just, and part of that rattling is, yeah. And you know that when you tried to get off the earth plane, didn't work, hasn't worked. And they're a really good asset for the cause. So I like that. I do. That's it for this video. I thank you so much for your time, your attention, and I do not take you for granted. Now, tomorrow is the monthly meditation, and you are welcome to take part in that. It's non-denominational. Everybody's welcome. And if you don't watch it as it happens, it will be available to watch later because we'll record it and put it under the live tab for this channel. And like I said, you're all welcome. The focus of our meditation is going to be focusing on those animals, domestic, wild, domesticated, that share our world. And just imagine the best possible outcome for so many of them. And I personally, I want to see healing technologies that are going to be released for people to be co-released for animals at the same time, and just some beautiful changes in our world so that we all, animals and humans alike, have a chance to develop and be our best versions of ourselves, something that more aligned with what our Creator intended when He made this beautiful, He, she, it, when this beautiful plane of existence was created. And to some extent, we co-created. So we're going to take a little time in that meditation and picture a much better and much healthier and much happier plane of existence for some of those co-inhabitants of our earth that have fur and feathers and fins. Until next time, I wish you love and light and everything bright. Thank you. Bye.